Gabriel, he gets that kind of news. On top of the world, third-round pick, going to the Browns. Flacco ain't going to be around long. Going to be my team.
They already traded for Kenny. They draft him. Okay, cool spot. Forget Deshaun Watson. Okay, cool spot. Third-round pick, 2 veterans. Man, no pressure on me. In Cleveland, oh, man. And I'll go back to Mel Kiper. When you look at that tape, that kid was a first-round pick. And the way he played, it didn't show the NFL that they were racist, but it did show the NFL still has the hammer. Now his contract is marginalized because he's a 5th-round pick, and they can sign him for 4 years. The draft process is very, very important. It needs to be handled in a very sophisticated, business-like fashion to make sure that this situation doesn't happen again.
So Skip Bayless blasts NFL teams as racist fools. He claims that NFL teams, Bayless was quick to scold teams who passed in the former Colorado Buff standout, Shedeur Sanders, during the draft, allowing him to fall to the 5th round. Cleveland made the pick even after trading down the 1st round to select defensive tackle Mason Graham. Already had Dillon Gabriel. Tonight, this is his quote, tonight Shedeur Sanders made the entire National Football League look like a whole bunch of petty fools and in some cases, racist fools. In many cases, Deion Sanders, despising fools, Bayless said in a video. Tonight at Carolina, Shedeur made all the teams that he had 143 chances to draft him. He played obviously ridiculously well, which I don't know that anybody didn't think he was going to. Bayless did not elaborate on how Sanders' performance made the league look like, quote, unquote, racist fools, but he was adamant that he was behind the quarterback all along. It was the biggest disgrace in the history of the National Football League that somehow the sheep think NFL wanted to teach Shedeur and in turn Deion a lesson for how he interviewed, how he carried himself, how he's the highest paid NIL college player ever. Bayless continued. What are your thoughts on those comments?
Well, for one, I think we have maybe 16 to 18 African-American quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I think that was the number like last year.
Okay.
So along the way with 32 teams, based on some of the things that we were able to see during the national anthem stuff, yes, there are definitely some racists, but I don't think that it was racism the reason why he dropped. I thought it was how they handled the draft. Him being the CEO quarterback, he's not a DB. He's not a wide receiver. But the thing about the NFL draft is there's no science to it. And Mel Kiper, he was very upset about the NFL. He hadn't seen a player ranked that high. Because even if you look at quarterbacks that happen to be white and they had some type of something about them in the last, 15 years in the NFL, look at Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow still ended up being drafted in the 1st round.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I know.
Like he still ended up Johnny Manziel.
I know.
Still got drafted in the 1st round. So
hey,
it was
how good could those interviews have been, Manziel's?
And I'm just talking about like not only the interviews, but people question the ability, people look at stuff.
Correct.
There was no way that you looked at Shedeur and would think that he was a 5th round pick.
Correct.
So there has to have been something else that they were looking at and viewing. And, that whole process, and I'll go back to Mel Kiper. When you look at that tape, that kid was a 1st-round pick. And the way he played, it didn't show the NFL that they were racist, but it did show the NFL still has the hammer. Because now his contract is marginalized because he's a 5th-round pick, and they can sign him for 4 years. And now you're stuck. But ultimately, the draft process is very, very important. All phases, regardless of what kind of experiences you have with it, regardless if you're a legacy, regardless if your father, your brother, it needs to be handled in a very sophisticated, business-like fashion to make sure that this situation doesn't happen again. Because it could only be the interview process. It couldn't be the tape. And as you could see against Carolina, he is a quality 100%. NFL quarterback. And eventually, he'll be an NFL starting quarterback.
100%. Well, you made a comment, or you made a point a few podcasts ago where you said, as a coach, some of them guys and the general managers actually had to consider. I mean, how many times are guys getting drafted and their dad's a Division I legitimate, like, could potentially coach in the NFL if someone want to bring him in? And they were talking about it with the Cowboys. So I'm going to tell you something, dude. I ran this guy the other day. I hadn't seen him in 25 years. I remember I said to him one day, I said, hey, why don't you bring in my buddies to, like, coach a team with y'all, this travel team? And he looked at me and he said, they both played in the major leagues about 14 years, right? I said, yeah. He said, well, I bring them in. What they going to do with me? and part of it is like, that's just human nature. I don't care who you are. You're trying to keep your job.
First law of nature, self-preservation.
Exactly. And self-preservation when your team is not playing that well is not to bring in, hey, why don't his dad coach? He's coached him his whole life. So there's probably part of that, too, when they say the whole Deion factor. But hey, he can play. And he throws the ball to his team. He throws the ball to his team. He makes good. I don't know. I just like he's calculated. I like watching him play, and I think he's going to have a hell of a season. I do think he's going to play a lot for the Browns today. But let's stay on that. Sanders was out with an oblique injury. Dillon Gabriel got the start against the Eagles. He went 13 for 18, 143 yards. Had a less than stellar first drive, eventually resulting in a touchdown for the Browns on Saturday, but the good times didn't last very long. He threw a pick six to Andrew Makuba shortly after, finished the day, as we said, 13, 18, 143 yards. Brown, but I want your opinion on this. I read this 4 times. I'm trying to figure out what he meant. And they made a big deal about this game. They said, they were talking to him after the game, and something that he said became a bigger story than him throwing a pick six or what his stats were. He said, that's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors, Gabriel said. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. That was seen by many people as a shot at Sanders due to the shine and spotlight the Colorado product gets no matter what he does. However, Gabriel later, and this is where I became more confused, later he clarified that the quip was not directed at his fellow rookie caller. He said, yeah, first off, I'm all about our team and each other. I would never make that comment about Sanders, and I've said it before, that's why it's interesting. But for me, I've explained it, entertainers are you all, competitor, that's what I am, and all my teammates, and we both have jobs to do, that's it, Gabriel said. What does that mean?
I guess in his mind, he thinks the media is more to entertain people.
Okay.
And he doesn't know that the National Football League, this is not Oregon, this is not Oklahoma, or those other schools he went to, which at that time, we do consider to be amateurs, but there's an entertainment that they bring to the university and people like ourselves. He made a lot of NIL money. What did he think he was getting that for? His not 6'5" and his looks. Did he think that?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. You want to be entertained. I want to turn it on. I want to be entertained.
He's an entertainer.
Yeah.
Now, a lack of explanation, a good explanation for his comments. The only thing that really brings me just a little bit of, it makes me go back to Oregon played Colorado, and Oregon's coach made several comments after the game was, we're about football and other people are about clicks and everything. So now he ended up playing for that coach last season, and I think that in college locker rooms, the Sanders conversations are real, and then now he's fallen into the funnel where now he got drafted 2 rounds ahead of him. So I don't think he meant anything by it. I think he was really talking about the media. But one thing I do want to point out, the interception pick six, they had 3 receivers about in the 7-yard radius. And people don't point this out a lot, but about 60% of all interceptions are the receiver's fault.
60%?
Yes.
Not the quarterback's fault. He's 40% at fault.
Either protection, the offensive line.
Okay.
But I'm talking about receivers, either the ball going off their hands, them not getting enough separation, them being in the wrong area, giving the quarterback the wrong read. Like, they are a significant part of interceptions based on my history of being involved in the passing game.
Correct. You know a little bit about it.
There's a high number. So those 3 receivers being the same in the preseason, should he have thrown the ball away? Yes, he should have thrown it away. But as he said, it is part of the process as a quarterback, because he probably thought, hey, at Oregon, the Big Ten, I can throw that. In the NFL, that's a lollipop going the other way. So he's going to figure it out also with the media, media training, because he learned a lesson, because he had to make a comment about his comment.
Which made it worse. It was more confusing.
Yes. So, hey.
I want you to be, in your Cris Carter entertaining way, I want you to be Dillon Gabriel sitting at your house or sitting at somebody's house or your family's party or wherever you're at, Oregon, and you're watching the NFL draft, and you're probably not that fired up about the 5th round, but you're somewhere watching something, and you realize the Browns drafted Shedeur.
No, he's not watching.
He's not even know. So somebody calls him. Somebody calls him.
I mean, with him being a 3rd-round pick, with Shedeur still being on the board, oh man, there's Shucky Ducky in the day.
So what happened when he got the call about or did Browns call him or whoever would call him and say, hey, we're taking Shedeur?
I don't know if the Browns, because he's not a veteran quarterback, would have called his agent and given him a heads up.
So somebody just
like
called
last year, the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Before Michael Pence, they called Kirk Cousins.
Because he's Kirk Cousins. Like,
Kirk.
Don't read between the lines or nothing, bro, but read between the lines.
Good news, bad news. You're still on the Falcons, but your replacement's in the building.
We're still paying you that contract, but he's here. So how does a Gabriel, he gets that kind of news after being, like you said, on top of the world, 3rd-round pick, going to the Browns. Flacco ain't going to be around long. It's going to be my team.
And the Browns had traded for a quarterback.
Yeah. So
I think his official height's probably like 5'11". He probably shrunk to about 5'6".
All right, that answers it. So he wasn't the same guy.
I mean, they got Joe Flacco there. They got Kenny. They already traded for Kenny.
Yeah.
They draft him. Okay, cool spot. Forget Deshaun Watson. Okay, cool spot. 3rd-round pick, 2 veterans. Man, no pressure on me. In Cleveland, oh, man. And everything shrinks in the cold. By November, he'll be 5 foot.
He'll be 5 foot watching the game from the sidelines.
Oh, man.
Figuring out how it all went wrong.
Oh, here's Shedeur going to be out there. Every time if you show him, he's going to be.
He can be under 5 feet by the end of the season if Shedeur plays well. Yeah. So here's what he's got. He's 13-18. He's thrown no touchdowns and a pick. Shedeur is 14-23, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And Huntley is 16-21, touchdown, no picks. And obviously they haven't played Flacco because, as you said, why the hell would they play Flacco? And they're going to announce the starting quarterback for week 1 ahead of this week's, but it's going to be Flacco.
Yes.
It's going to be Flacco. So, but you do believe we're going to see Shedeur this season?
Yes, but I do believe the best way to start the season
is Flacco. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like the only choice you said. You got to let him play.
Got to.
Okay.
You have to. And he's better than them.
Yeah.
At this point.
Today. Correct. I think I was watching, what was it? The one I sent you, Cam Newton, when he said Joe Flacco's kids don't even want to watch him play. He's going through all the quarterbacks. He said, I don't know why we're talking about you. Your kids don't even want to see you play.
I like listening to Cam. Cam brings a different pizzazz to sports media and different insight. And I appreciate it. He's getting better and better, too.
And from entertained, I'm entertained. I watch this shit, I am entertained. It's like you talked about it when Shedeur walked on the field, and it's different. When the podcast or whatever turns on, he starts talking, I'm like, okay. Before I know it, I'm 12 minutes into it. I'm like, what am I doing? I got shit to do.
Yeah, he's a leader.
No doubt. He got it. He's got it. He's got it.